Hey guys, we're getting ready to start the show, but before we do, I wanted to ask you guys to please pay special attention to the intro when the music's playing when I'm driving down the road, because I'm going to make a very good point in this video about that. We're also going to talk about my trip to the neurologist and all of that. So you guys hang with me. It should be a pretty good show. All right, folks, let's get into it.
This is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down. Flying by these road signs with home on my mind, but these wheels turning round for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
All righty, I'm back. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I wasn't sure how many we'd have because of this being an unannounced video, because it being so late at night on a Sunday night, stuff like that. It's been a crazy week. We're going to jump into it. Sorry, I'm burping all of a sudden. We're going to get into all that. We've only got 6 channel members at this moment. Let's go and say hi to them. I was going to make this video for channel members only and then maybe do something later, but I decided to just go ahead and put it all out there. Let y'all know what's going on with me. We'll start with the original channel member and work our way up to the most recent. Got Ramon, Robbie Ross, Corey Oatley, Oaser DM, KC, and Adam. All righty, I appreciate all of y'all sticking with me and being a channel member despite everything that's gone on. So that video, we're going to talk about it here in just a second. I put it up last live stream I did too, and nobody said nothing. I guess everybody missed it. We're going to jump into that. I'm going to talk about the neurologist, and we'll see how it goes. So let's start with that video. If you watch it, and I did this for a couple of reasons. When it gets to the part where I'm driving down the highway, it's really fuzzy, really blurry. I purposefully did not alter that video quality. And the reason is, this is exactly what a lot of dash cams look like. Now, you guys know in my shop, I've got one for a truck that is, I paid about $1,800 for it. And it does high quality video, and it looks a lot better. But a lot of these trucking companies, especially the smaller companies, are basing your job on what that video shows. And you see it can be grainy, it can be choppy, and in a lot of cases it could tell half a story. And so that's why I'm against dash cams. I think they're great to have. I think everybody should have one. I just don't think somebody in a safety department should be using that to determine employment, if you should keep working there, things like that. So if you didn't notice it the first time, go back and watch the start of the video and look how poor quality that video is. And it was from a Nexar dash cam that I did that a few years ago. Like I said, I do have a much better system now for my own personal protection. And if I decide to drive a truck at some point, I'll put it in my next truck. And if I don't, I'm going to mount it in my personal vehicle. I just have to get a different cable and I can mount it in my personal vehicle. Now, the other part of that dash cam is, let's apply it to real life for a second. You know, life's a lot like this. We think we know ourselves. We think we've got comfortable in our position in life. And this week, some truths that I thought I knew about myself have changed. So I'm learning stuff about myself, especially with this stroke. I'm still kind of introducing myself to myself, and it's been tough. So keep that in mind that we're always growing, we're always learning, we're always evolving. And man, sometimes just when you think you've got it all figured out, life can throw you a curveball. And I've had a few of them in the last 12 or 14 months for sure, without a doubt. But all of you that are here stuck with me, and I appreciate that. Now, let's talk about this a little more in a trucking perspective. Um, Tomorrow at, I believe it would be, I think it's either at 10 or 11 a.m. Central Time. I've got a Teams meeting before I go to work, and I'm working with a trucking software company. Now, you guys know that I always preached when I was driving about knowing your numbers, figuring out how to reduce cost. I recommended the ES Advantage card, which that link is still in the description of this video. You can click on the title of this video, click on that link, and get the exact same fuel card that I did use, and I still recommend. I will be using it again if I should decide to return to trucking. That's still up in there. You see my speech is still a little off, so I don't feel like I'm 100% yet, but I do feel like I'm on the road to recovery. I feel like the job I'm currently doing is real great for my mind and computer skills. I'm learning a lot up there. And so, yeah, that part is great. Now, my uncle had a wreck, totaled his car. And so yesterday I went to Dallas with him to look at a couple of vehicles. And we had a good time, got to hang out, spend some time together, something we hadn't got to do in a while. And I'm really enjoying that family side, getting to hang out with kids and grandkids a little more. Having said that, my income has taken a big hit. The YouTube channel makes a fraction of what it used to. My job income is a fraction of what it was driving a truck. And so while I'm tempted to stay here and continue life as usual, reality may set in at some point, and I may have to drive a truck again later down the line. So for those that don't know, maybe this is your first time here or whatever, on March 14th, I had approximately 15 mini strokes, and a couple points I almost died. A couple of points I was good enough to do videos on YouTube. There's some videos where I did live streams from my hospital bed. You can go check those out. Fortunately, they were all minor, and I'm doing pretty good. I don't have any real physical limitations. I've lost 15 pounds since the stroke. And so let's get to the part everybody's curious about. We're 8 minutes in now. Let's talk about the neurologist appointment. I went to the neurologist, and this was my first visit since the strokes. They did put a loop recorder in my chest, and it records, and then my phone uploads it to wherever it uploads it to. Where I also have a key fob thing I can push, and if I feel like I'm having a vent, it works like a dash cam. It'll record what my heart's doing at the time. So that it looks kind of weird. It looks like a bullet hole in my chest, but I didn't have any cardiac events, and they put these loop recorders in you when you have strokes, and they don't know why. I was on a blood thinner. The neurologist removed me from the blood thinner. I do take a low dose aspirin and a whole host of other pills now. He gave me cognitive tests and everything, and he feels like that if I wanted to return to trucking, the earliest I'd be eligible under DOT law would be September 14th, but he feels like, he said at this point he would be comfortable writing me a letter to where I could drive again. Now, ultimately, that decision isn't his to make. And I say that meaning this: I've got to do some self-evaluating, kind of like I've told some of you to do in the past before you did a lease purchase. I've got to look at me and where I'm at and see if I think I could do it, if I could handle the stress. I've got to look at the impact on my family. Maybe a local job is better. Without a doubt, though, if I do decide to drive a truck again, SRO Logistics would still be near the top. I talked to Scott on the phone last week during one of my breaks at work, and we've emailed and texted. I think text. I don't know if there was an email or not. A few times, and so things are still good there. I know a lot of you have been thinking about me and praying about me, and I appreciate all of that. There's been a few trolls saying some crazy stuff, and that's okay too. Um, but anyway, just wanted to give you all an update. It was as good a report as we could hope from from the neurologist. I do see the cardiologist, but not until October 3rd. And then my personal doctor I go see on July 17th, and they'll do blood work, and we'll take another look. But the report to give everybody is, as long as things continue like this, that they believe that I'll be able to return. So let's get into some of these comments. Some of you have been waiting a while. Looks like Roger Berry's been waiting a little over an hour and a half. He was the first one in today. He says, I'm in on home time. I will catch you on the rerun. I stayed at my same carrier. Like you, I don't think I could do the Northeast day in, day out. So Roger Berry was tempted by another company. He contacted me about these two driving opportunities that he had versus what he was currently doing. And I gave him my opinion. And ultimately, he decided to stay where he's at, which I think was a good move, at least for now. Until this market kind of levels out and rates go back up, there's not going to be any good choices. They're all bad right now. So you might as well stay with the bad place you're at until things get better. Now, having said that, if you're somewhere where it's just terrible, you can't stand another day there, it sucks to go to work angry. And at that point, I would recommend looking at somebody like SRO Logistics as a place to work. They definitely were honest with me, treated me fairly, and to this day, I still talk good about them. Robbie Ross, channel member. Hiya, friends from Alexandria, Louisiana, delivering to Wilmer tomorrow. Then a load home to Phoenix. Well, good deal. Good deal. Somebody contacted me the other day, and they were in Abilene looking for a load to Phoenix, and they was asking me what load boards I was looking on and things like that. And I was telling them that's not really a super freight lane. So I didn't find myself in that position very often. Usually if I'm in Abilene, I'm on my way to Lubbock, and I could usually find I believe it was Pepsi or Coca-Cola. It was a soft drink load that I could get going up to Lubbock that paid decent, mid twos to low threes usually. And I didn't care. I was just trying to find something to get me home. Adam, my good friend, is here from the house. All righty. And another good one. Mark Ely says, what's up, everyone? Channel member Ramon says he's here. Good to have you. Blue Shadow. Hey, brother. Hey, man. Thank you for being here. And Robbie Ross, channel member, with the very important, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Folks, I know it's irritating to listen to me go through the spiel about giving me a thumbs up, sharing on social media, and subscribing. But to keep this channel alive, it's critical. We're over 6,000. We may be at 7. I don't even know. I haven't looked lately. But the views are way down, and obviously I get it. I'm putting out a lot less videos. It's hard to predict when a video is coming out. But do your part to help me in the analytics. Give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, all of that, so that YouTube keeps me in the algorithms and I can continue to share content with you guys. And hopefully I can up it a little bit. You know, I'm losing weight. I've lost 15 pounds since my stroke, and I need to lose about another 30. And so there's going to be some more stuff coming. I'm not going to nag you guys about how you eat or what you eat, but maybe perhaps we do some of these lives while I'm going for a walk and something like that. I don't want to give too many ideas, because as soon as I give an idea on here, then 40 other YouTubers are doing it, and I get accused of copying people when it was my idea originally. But I'm looking at some other ways to keep you guys entertained. I've shared, it's no secret, I would like to make my show more like Asian Ma and do more news stories and things like that. So if you guys see something in the news that, Asian Ma has a staff to help him get these news stories. It's just me, and I'm working a full-time job and trying to take care of a wife and grandkids and kids and all of that. And so I don't have the free time to compete with a large staff that has a full-time job looking for news. But if you see a news story that you think I might have an interesting take on or something, send it to me at todd@truckertodd.net, and I'll definitely take a look at it. Also, if you see something out on the road that you think is really interesting, send me a picture of it and I'll post it on my community page. Um, Also, check out the website, Todd. What is truckertodd.net? Truckertodd.net. Go there, check that out. I've put my Amazon affiliate link there. I've put several products on there. Everything from women's perfume to video game systems, and more stuff is coming. So get on there. It doesn't cost anything, and I get a couple of bucks out of it from Amazon. So it's a win-win for everybody. You still get your savings through Amazon, and I make 50 cents or $1 off each sale or something like that. It's a percentage, and to be honest with you, I don't even know what it is. All righty, now that we got that, let's see who's next. Ted Van Buskirk says, "Hello, Mr. Todd. I am here. Hope you are getting better." Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Had a good talk with Ted the other day during one of my breaks at work, and he offered me a lot of advice about returning to trucking or not returning to trucking, and so thank you for that. Gary Cook says he'll be listening from the TA truck stop in Jacksonville, Georgia. Yeah, I was at last night. We went to a dealership, and man, that was a disaster. Uh, that car was not what we used to call frontline ready in the car business. And so we went and looked at a second one with an individual, and we met at the Petro right there in Weatherford. So I was back in the truck stop, and it was kind of a weird feeling to be back in there because I hadn't been in a lot of truck stops in the past, since March anyway. Josh McLean says, "Hey Todd, glad to see you on a live. It feels good to be back. A lot of people say, oh, maybe you should take a break from the lives. They're stressful. But to me, this is a stress reliever. Now, there are things in my life that are stressful, but not this. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy taking your phone calls and trying to help where I can, offering advice. Um, Sometimes I struggle to find news stories and I stress about that or things to talk about. And usually somebody will come through with something. Somebody will email me or text me and say, hey, would you talk about this, talk about that? I haven't been doing any of the trucking company reviews lately, where I investigate companies and give you my opinions on them. I'm hoping to get back to that. I actually hoped to film some this weekend, and it just didn't work out. This past week, I've had some personal stuff going on that I'm not going to share here in a public forum, but it's been a lot of time spent, and in my opinion, it was time well spent. I've met some really great people, some really interesting people, and I've already mentioned about getting to hang out with my uncle, which was a blast. You guys have heard me speak in several videos in the past where I said, to me, success is being able to spend time with family. And so this week, while I might be behind on almost every bill I got, I do feel successful because I've got to get a lot of that family time in. I've got to have a lot of really good conversations on the phone. As far as work, um, you know, I like the job. I really do. And everybody keeps telling me I'm doing great at it. I don't know if that's true or not. I think I'm doing okay at it. But, it's a little over $18 an hour. It's a pretty big pay cut for me. Now in September, I'll start getting commission and it'll go up 2 to 3,000 a month, depending on how I do. But right now, it's been kind of slim. We're not living the lifestyle we were or doing the things that we were, but I'm just trying to hang on till things get better. And I say all that because that's what most of you are doing right now. The market is terrible. Everybody's struggling, and we're all just trying to hang on till rates come up and the economy gets better. A lot of you wanted to know what I thought about the debate, and I've tried to keep it fairly non-political on here, but I will say that Biden did look like he was having some trouble putting a sentence together and maybe articulating a thought. I'm more sympathetic to that than I was in months and years past because sometimes I'm the same way. The difference is, the difference is that I'm not running the country. And if I have trouble putting a thought together, millions of lives don't count on it. And so it's a little scary. It's a little embarrassing for our enemies overseas to see that we've got a president like that. Whether you agree with his politics or not, I would feel much better about it if he stepped down and somebody that had better mental faculties took his place. Now, let's talk about Trump for a second. Um, I get it. People don't like the package. And you can say what you want to him, about him. People don't like the package. He says things that aren't politically correct. He tells you what's really on his mind. And for years, we said that's what we want. We want a politician that'll just tell us the truth the way it is. Well, when we get that, then we're like, oh, he should have candy coated it. He should have, you know, uh, put a spin on it to make it sound better. But here's what we got. We've got something we hadn't had in over 100 years. We've got two presidencies that we know exactly what it looks like. We know what a Biden presidency looks like, and we know what a Trump presidency looks like. The difference is on the Biden presidency, he's going to be 4 years older after this election. And so even if you like the first 3.5 years of a Biden presidency, he's probably not going to be able to duplicate that for another 4 years. So if you're a Democrat, what do? Do you put Kamala Harris in there, which she polls worse than he does? Do you put Gavin Newsom in there that everything he touches turns to crap? California is among the bottom in every category and has been losing money for years. So the Democrats are in a little bit of a fix right now. And I know you guys don't tune in for politics. And so I'm not going to harp on it much more, but just to say, I know a lot of you wanted to know what I thought about the debate, and that's my thoughts on it. Who knows if I get a lot of comments or emails continue on it, I may do a video about it. We did get a deal we need to talk about here, and then we'll go back and get to your comments. Channel member Robbie Ross has been a member for 8 months. Hope everyone has a wonderful 4th of July. Be careful, all those crazy four-wheelers out there. Yeah, definitely be careful on the 4th of July. There's going to be drinking, driving, all that. If you can park by dark on the 4th of July, it's probably a good idea. Try not to drive overnight when the drunks are going to be out. Our plans here, my church is doing a 4th of July thing. They're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers and a bunch of games and stuff. I'm bringing soft drinks, and so we're going to go have a good time. I just started going to this church a couple of months ago, so it'll give me a chance to meet new people. And then from there, I don't know if I'm hanging out with my son that night or not, what his plans are. We hadn't got that far yet. Everything's been kind of topsy-turvy here lately, but definitely be safe, be careful, and enjoy the 4th and celebrate our independence. We got another one down here. It's a super sticker from Ramon, channel member, $5. Thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate that. Now let's, Ramon, I'd like to know about your situation too while I got you here. How's the foot? Are you feeling better? If you don't want to tell me here, shoot me a text or an email and let me know how you're doing. I would really I'd really like to know. I was thinking about you the other day and wondering how you were. All right, let's scroll back up here. And we got Stephen Lyle says he's been catching the replay. Nice to see it live. Yes, sir. Good to have you here as well. We got another one down here. Let's jump down here and get this. This is another good friend and supporter of the channel, Deontay Butler with the $1.99 super sticker. Thank you for that as well. Glad to have you here, my friend. I didn't know on a Sunday night how many people I'd get here, but I definitely appreciate you being here. And we got to catch up sometime. I've been wanting to talk to you because when Deontay and I first started talking, he was at a company that I used to work at, and he was considering making some changes. And I'm just kind of concerned or curious how all that turned out. And my good friend from Arkansas, Chris Morris, says, hello there. If I knew that he was going to be here tonight, he gave me an Arkansas baseball cap, and I would have wore it in the video. But I didn't put it on. I didn't know. Chris works a lot of hours. He's a hardworking, good dude, and so I never know when he's going to be here and when he's not. But I met him and his family in Little Rock and had a blast with them. As a matter of fact, I was telling my wife, I was like, if I get any time off, I need to go to Little Rock and hang out with them again. They're super good people. Steve Given, hi y'all. Hello, Steve. Thank you for being here. Trucking with the Fly Rabbit and Poppy says, I'm here. I need to send you new backdrops. I'll always take new backdrops. You guys, if you've got any pictures that you'd like to see as my backdrop, email them to me at todd@truckertodd.net, and I'll upload them. And who knows, I may put them in a future live. But yeah, that'd be great. This one that I'm using right here is from where Fly Rabbit used to live. From what I understand, it's about a quarter of a mile from his old house. He moved, and but yeah, I like this picture for a lot of reasons. I like the waves, I like the clouds, and of course, I like the beach. It's where I wish I was at right now. And Gary Cook says you talk better than Joe Biden. That's setting the bar pretty high. You know, I try to be careful with that because every president, it seems like they make fun of the way they talk. Like we've all seen the Trump impersonators. I remember George W. Bush. Everybody made fun of the way he talked and the smirk he did. And now we're doing it to Biden. But you know, I don't think it's a big secret that I'm conservative. I'm Republican leaning, or maybe even libertarian leaning. But I felt sorry for Joe Biden. This is a guy that if he wasn't president of the United States, we would have him in a nursing home somewhere. And you know, dementia's nothing to laugh at. You people might remember that Ronald Reagan, in his final months in office, he started struggling with some issues of what was it? I think it was Alzheimer's or dementia or something. He was having some problems there as well. So I don't want to laugh at mental health issues or things like that. I think it would have been a much better debate, Biden 20 years ago versus Trump now. But I mean, it was a slaughter. Trump annihilated him in that debate, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion. But let's be fair to Biden too. It wasn't his finest hour, and you know that was what his spin people said afterwards. They go, well, this everybody has a bad debate night. Obama said that. He's like, oh, everybody has a bad night once in a while. And we'll see. They got one more debate that's scheduled right now, and we'll see how he does in the next one. But man, he took a week off work, and that's what we got. It's just sad. Don says, good evening. Good evening, Don. Thank you for being here. Earlier, my neighbor got hauled off in an ambulance, and they're really elderly people, so I hope they're okay. They're kind of in my thoughts and prayers right now. they there was a lot of ambulances over there, and they took off with sirens. So with them being elderly and on oxygen and everything, I'm kind of concerned about them. I've never met them personally. We've waved at each other a few times, and so if you see me glancing out the window or looking around or kind of listening, I'm just wondering what's going on. All righty, we got another one we need to talk about. We got Robbie Ross with a super chat. $20. Wow. Bought one of those grill combo pellet gas grills. Plan to barbecue when I get home. Also, some new swivel chairs for my remodeled patio. Yeah, that's something I got to get real soon. I want to get a desk. I want to get a good office chair for the house. I've got a great one at work. I wish I could have one like that here, but definitely we still need a couch here. We've been just kind of living paycheck to paycheck and just making a penny stretch a little further here lately. But like I said, I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me or nothing like that. We're going to be fine. But we just got to, my wife's hours, they cut her from about 35 hours a week to about 25 hours a week. And she's talking to her work. They got to get her hours up a little bit. And mine are good. Mine are consistently a little over 40. So I'm getting overtime pay. And we just got to keep plugging away, kind of like I said, like all of you are doing. It's tough times right now, and we just got to stick together and not turn on each other and help each other where we can. And better times are going to come. And I've got to make a commitment to you guys to get more content out and to answer your emails and text messages quicker and things like that. But you guys don't give up on me. I'm not going to give up on y'all, and we're going to get through this together. T. Moraes, am I saying that right? I hope I'm saying that right. I didn't know you had a stroke. I'm sorry about that. Hope you're okay. Yeah, that's why I'm not driving right now. So when I had the strokes, there was about 15 of them on March 14th. And I know I said it earlier in the show. I'm just recapping for people that hadn't been here the whole time. That DOT, we thought at the time, based on all the research I did, all the research Scott did, everything we looked at, that I'd have to be a year off. Later, we found out that's just a recommendation. The actual requirement is for 6 months off, but your doctors have to sign off on it. And that's why this first neurology appointment was so crucial, because it was going to determine the path forward. So definitely I could drive again, probably, as long as I don't have another stroke. But I'm losing weight. I've lost 15 pounds so far. And family has had a lot going on lately. And so it just comes down to, do I want to risk my health again? Do I want to start eating truck stop food and gaining weight? And does my family need me? Which right now it looks like they do. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Some of it I'll never share publicly. Some of you may find out privately. But yeah, I'm just trying to see where I'm at mentally, where I'm at physically, and same thing with my family, where they're at mentally and physically, and then what's the best way that I can be the best thing to everybody. Now, even worst case scenario, if I stay at this job and don't return to trucking, or if I decide to take a local job, even if I stay at this job, I get tons of off time because it's a union job. So I could still go to the truck show in March. I could fly in, hang out for the show, uh, do all the booths like I did, take pictures of all the trucks like I did, and it not affect me financially. Fly back and go right back to work. So I'm going to try to keep one foot in trucking, and I've maintained contact with SRO Logistics. Incidentally, y'all can contact him at safety@srologistics.com. And he and I are still on speaking terms. There's no hard feelings. We get along great. And he treated me the most fairly of any company I've ever worked for, in or out of trucking. And so for that reason, he's going to be at the top. If it's he wins if it's an over the road job in most situations. Now, if I do a local job, obviously it'd be tough for him to win because I pick my own loads off the load board with him. And you know, he can't create loads that aren't there. Now, if I stay with this company, I still want to do an Asian Mai type show where I can do news stuff, do these live shows more consistently. Starting July 28th, my schedule is going to change at work, and I don't know what it is. Hopefully, I'll get a shift that'll allow me to do more of these videos and stay in contact with y'all better. Steve Givens says, thank God. Yeah, you would be amazed, and I'm not tooting my own horn here, how many people have been praying for me, how many people have emailed with good well wishes and things like that. I appreciate everybody. Um, there was some of the trolls made fun of me. There was three YouTubers that sent me money through a GoFundMe, and they made fun of that and the amount they send. I appreciate it, and I can tell you that those three donations made a huge difference in my life. Um, tons of you on here made super chats and super stickers and sent them to me, and they made a ton of difference. We're talking about several $100s here. So if you see something negative on YouTube or on the social medias, don't let it discount what you did or make you think that what you did was a waste or it didn't matter. It really saved our neck, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. And it's part of the reason why I feel like I owe you guys, even if you didn't send money during those times, even if you just said a prayer for me or you asked about me. I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate your time coming in here. And so don't let the negative Nellies ruin it for you. W. Jones says, hey, Todd. Hello, sir. Thank you for being here. DIY Semis here. Man, it's good to see you. He says, good evening. Good evening, sir. How are things in your world? So Mark Ely says, you look thinner. It's funny. I grew out a beard and mustache. You can see it in the last video. And several people, friends, family, viewers said, hey, Todd, you look a lot better with a beard and facial hair. And so I left it on for a while. I shaved it this week. I may grow it back again. You never know with me. But I've lost 15 pounds so far, and I feel a little better. I look a little better. People tell me I seem better, seem to have more energy, but I don't want it to stop. So you can go to Planet Fitness and get like a $10 membership. I'm considering doing that. And then it's a little out of my way going to work, but possibly doing that and get on a treadmill for 15 or 20 minutes before I go to work. Or maybe just go to work a little early and do that walk to my desk twice instead of walking from my pickup to my desk and sitting down. Walk from my pickup to my desk, back to the pickup, and back to my desk before I sit down. And I think that'll make a big difference as well. But as long as I'm not driving a truck, I might as well take advantage of this time. I'm eating a little healthier at the house, and so it's not easy. I ain't gonna say it's easy, but it's something we all got to try to do. And I would suggest the same to y'all out there on the road. While you're waiting for your trailer to get loaded, walk around the parking lot. I used to see people do that. They'd talk on their phone, walk around the parking lot. Maybe at night before you go into the truck stop to get a shower, do a couple of laps around the truck parking lot before you go inside. Maybe when you order something, if you're going to eat that truck stop food, maybe you cut it in half and put half of it in your refrigerator and eat it later and eat only half your meal, something like that. And I told this to a family member this week. I said, if you notice that your weight is leveled off, you're not going up or down, then all you got to do to lose weight is just eat a little less than you do now and exercise a little more than you do now. All you got to do is tip the scales just a little to make big differences in your life. And you don't have to wait till you have a stroke like me to make a change. Learn from the donkey. The things that are going on with me might last the rest of my life. The headaches, the occasional stutter, things like that. So don't wait till you're in my position to try to make changes. And, I mentioned it earlier in the show, but that's why I'm so excited about this trucking software that I'm negotiating a deal for tomorrow. And the deal I'm negotiating is to get you guys big discounts on it. But it'll figure your cost per mile and all of that and help you make more money. And I think it's more important than ever with the economy we're in and the way people are struggling. But I also think that ES Advantage card that I hadn't mentioned lately, because let's be honest, we all know I'm not buying fuel right now, but I still have that card. I still plan to possibly need it one day. And so if you haven't got that ES Advantage card, I know a lot of you have, take this opportunity and get it now. And then compare it with your current fuel card or with your company fuel card as a part of your pre-trip and use whichever one's the cheapest. I mean, you don't have to be married to one fuel card. Do whatever saves you the most money, because whatever you save is whatever you make. That's your profit. I bet the stress of your accident brought on the stroke. No, not at all. So let's talk about that for a second. That stroke, I mean, that accident happened a year prior to that. Actually, 54 weeks. Wait, let me think about that a second, because somebody will sit there and recalculate me. About 11 months earlier, ballpark, 10 and a half, 11 months earlier. Actually, I haven't spent 5 minutes thinking about that accident since then. Um, Again, I can't talk about it. I know everybody wants me to. I know there's some rumors going around on the internet. They're all false. I'm not aware of any of those things going on currently. And I find it really, really convenient that the proof they had was all redacted and you couldn't see anything. Look, these guys got my email, todd@truckertodd.net. If they've got some proof, send it to me. Let's see it. If nothing else, if this stuff's going on, I need the heads up. If there's dirt on me, let's see it. And they're not going to show it because they ain't got it. They admit that they make stuff up, and you guys fall for it. Some of you don't fall for it. Just ignore them. Don't shine a light on a cockroach. Would you know the cause of the stroke? Oftentimes, yeah, they can see the cause of a stroke. Basically, a stroke, the way it was explained to me, is like your brain having a heart attack. It's caused by usually a blood clot or a busted blood vessel, and they've got medicines and stuff they can give you if they catch it in the first 4 hours, which I believe we did. I was working on my semi. It had a small oil leak on the oil pan, and I was patching the oil pan. And I was at my son's shop all alone. He wasn't there. And I got out to visit him when he pulled up, and my arm felt numb, and my right arm, and it was kind of weak. I could still move it and everything. And it was extremely hot that day. And so I was talking to my son. I said, "Man, my arm feels weird." He said, "You're probably dehydrated. Come in here in the office, sit down. We got a nice air conditioned office." I went in there, I sat down, and he brought me some bottled water, and I was just sitting there, and my speech started to slur. And he said, "Man, you don't look good." I still thought I was fine. I was in denial. And I got tired of being nagged. I said, "All right, I'll drive myself to the hospital." He said, "Oh, no, you're not driving yourself to the hospital. I'm taking you." So he took me to the hospital. Hospital thought the same thing. They said, "Hey, we think you're just dehydrated. We're going to give you a couple of IVs and then you'll be out of here." So they gave me the IVs, and I still was having the symptoms, the weakness, all of that. So then they started doing the stroke stuff, and they determined I'd had strokes. Now, I was in a small town south of Lubbock at the hospital there, and they wanted to send me to Lubbock. It's got major hospitals, really, really good resources. The hospitals in Lubbock were all full for stroke type things, and so they said, "We're going to send you to Odessa Regional Hospital." And they said, and it's on the video. You can go back and watch my old lives and see this. They said, "We're going to send you to Odessa Regional." So I went down there. I was there for 5 days. They were trying to get me on a helicopter down there because I really wasn't doing too hot, and they couldn't get a helicopter. So in the effort to try to expedite things, they took me on an ambulance. When we got about 30 miles from Odessa, because it's 130 something miles down there, I started displaying some symptoms, and the nurse that was in the back with me told the driver that we need, I forgot the term she used, but she told him we needed to go lights on. And that means they run the red lights and get me there as fast as they can. When I got to the Odessa Regional Emergency Room, they worked on me for quite a while and finally got me a room. So I was in pretty bad shape uh, when I got to Odessa Regional. After that, I got better pretty quick. Odessa Regional took really good care of me. And by a day or two later, I was making live streams and updating y'all. And it's kind of funny videos to watch because nurses walk in and interrupt. They knew I was Trucker Todd. They knew what I was doing and they were okay with it. But the food was what got me because I'm supposed to be on a diabetic diet and they would bring cake and all kinds of stuff in there. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this ain't a diabetic diet. And they're like, oh, it's what they give for diabetics and heart patients. I was like, okay. What happened to you? It opened my eyes. You don't think it could happen to you, then it hits you. Your stroke changed my outlook on life. That's good. That's one of the best compliments I can get. If if my comment causes Mark to take better care of himself, then it's all worth it. And my wife met a guy at her work the other day. He had a stroke 6 years ago, and he still can't talk. Um, I met somebody else. I think it was yesterday that they had a family member that had a stroke, and they never were the same and ended up dying over it. So uh, I need to be grateful that my situation is what it is. I'm still alive. I've had some very, very positive things happen in my personal life this week that I can't really talk about publicly, but I've had some life changing things happen. And there's a lot of people that depend on me and need me, family wise and video wise, whether the trolls like it or not. And so um, I owe everybody a healthy Todd, and I'm going to try to get healthier and do better and even try to control my stress. I was talking to my sister earlier and I was telling her I'm not going to argue anymore. I'm not going to fight because my health can't take it right now. I'm still healing. I'm still recuperating. So if we get in a verbal conflict with my sister, with family, with friends, anything, I'm probably going to either try to de-escalate or continue the conversation after we both calm down a little bit because I just got to have a little more time uh, to get back to my old self. And the neurologist thinks I'm very close, but right now the things that are going on in my life, they require Trucker Todd 100%, not 75 or 80%. And I feel like, and he feels like, that between now and September 14th, I'm going to heal enough that he wouldn't be scared for me to drive a semi. And going to Dallas was a good trip for me yesterday. Round trip, it's a little over 700 miles that we drove, and that's what I wanted to see how I did. Um, was I perfect driving? Absolutely not. There's some things I need to work on. I missed an exit, things like that. So, but I feel like by September I'll be 100%, and I know I will be if you guys continue to keep me in your thoughts and prayers. Oh, I still kind of got the hiccups, guys. By the way, this is way off topic, and this isn't a promotion thing. Let me remove my comments so you can see this. Hope it'll show. Big red zero sugar. This stuff is awesome. I love Coke Zero, but this is good too. All the zero drinks seem to be good. Tastes just like Big Red too. Hey, my good friend Skyhook is here. Skyhook Trucker says, "Hey Todd, hello sir. Thank you for being here." Deontay Butler checking in. Hope all is well. Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. Life on 18 wheels ain't no good choices on the blue side. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was kind of the point I was making. And we've had years like that. I think back to Bob Dole on the Republican side. I mean, he was a rhino, and he was we thought he was the least of two evils, but I don't think anybody was super excited about Bob Dole. I think we've had some others along the way. You have up and down years, just like football teams do, or any sports team. Political parties do too. And I think some would argue that neither side has good choices. But whether we like Trump or not, and some of you are never going to like Trump, and me coming on here and talking about it isn't going to change anything. But we know that we had 4 good years with him economically, um, geopolitically. We weren't in any wars. Our border was closed, and we all felt like we were doing better than what we feel like we were doing now. Freight rates are definitely better, and so that's all I'm saying is that of these two, I think Trump wins hands down. So we'll see. And channel member Ramon says, I had asked him how his foot was doing, and he said his foot is healed. Thank God. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. And Jordan B says, Hey, Todd, hope all is well. Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. And Michael says, Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being here. Ramon, channel member Todd for president. You got my vote. The problem is, I never lived my life like a politician. Like politician, they have to worry about skeletons in their closet and things like that. And I don't. I mean, you guys know I've told y'all I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've got skeletons in my closet. It's some of those skeletons have come out this week, but not the ones you've heard of. And so I'm not perfect. I make mistakes just like you do, and I'm way too flawed to be a politician. Lance Calhoun says they'll replace Biden. Yeah, I watched some political analysis about that, and evidently that's kind of a tricky thing because the delegates, the Democrat delegates, a lot of them have already committed to Biden, so it's hard for them to change. And they don't want Kamala Harris because she polls worse than Biden does. And Gavin Newsom, he's a train wreck too. So I agree with you. They don't have a lot of good alternatives, but maybe they've got some up and coming senator somewhere that they want to put up there. I just think that the harder they prosecute Trump, the more his popularity goes up. And I don't think they expected that. I think they thought people were going to run from him, but he's got a lot of loyal supporters that remember what he did when he was in office. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about that deal. You will love that pellet grill. So somebody earlier, I believe it was Rob Rossi, was saying that he's on his way to Phoenix. He got a new pellet grill and he's going to cook out for the 4th. I believe my uncle got one too. I've talked to a few people that's got those pellet grills, and they love them. I'm wanting to get a grill. All I've got's a little tabletop grill, and I wish I had a big barbecue grill. They were saying at church this morning for that 4th of July deal they're doing that they wanted people to bring gas grills if they had them, and I don't have one, but I wish I did. Channel member Robbie Ross. I used it once, cooked burgers on it, Jordan. A little longer on the grill inside. The flavor from the pellets was really good. That's what I've heard. Gary Cook, does your wife want you to return to trucking or does she want to keep you at home? So she's really, really supportive of whatever I want to do. She likes having me here, but she likes having money too. So uh, we'll see what happens. But yeah, whatever decision I make, she's supportive of that. But it's just we've got to find a balance, and maybe that means a local job. Maybe that means this job pans out. I'm about to get another raise at work because I'll have been there. Let's see, April, sometime in the first part of November, I should get another raise. and I'll start getting commissions in September. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not taking anything off the table yet. And so far, my family has been supportive. The best way to sum it up, my oldest son, we were talking about it on the phone, and he said, I was telling him, hey, I may have to go back to trucking. The neurologist said I could. And he's like, man, I really hope you don't have to do that. He said, we like having you around here. And now with all that's going on in the family, we really need you here. And so I was like, well, maybe it means a local job, or maybe it means me doing something different, but we'll figure it out. And he's like, yeah, he's like, if you got to do it, you got to do it. But if there's any other way, do another way. So we'll see what happens. And you never know, if YouTube starts back up good again, that might be just enough to where I don't have to drive. But I still want to be involved in some way because I did like trucking. Maybe that means going to some truck shows. Maybe that means putting out more content on YouTube. I got home last night at a little after 1 a.m. from going to Dallas. And then it was a little after 2 when I fell asleep. And then I was up for church this morning. I think I got up around 9:30. So I didn't get a ton of sleep. And once I lay down, it takes me a little while to fall asleep now. Just got so many things turning in my brain. But so yeah, that's why I look tired. That's why I got bags in my eyes. Hoping to get to bed at a decent hour tonight so that I can be fresh at work tomorrow and fresh for that meeting in the morning. Ted Van Buskirk says, sorry I missed most of it. My phone was acting up. That's okay. So Ted called me the other day and I gave him kind of a sneak peek. He kind of already knew everything. But yeah, that's what the neurologist said, and that's where everything's at. And I was supposed to call Ted back, and I hadn't done it yet. Going to Dallas was a much needed trip out of town, and we had a good time, but it kind of put me behind on some things. But it looks like I may have to do it again in a few days. I may have to go to El Paso this time, helping my uncle look for a car. Since I worked at a dealership, I'm fairly mechanically inclined. Nothing like my son. He likes me to help him look over the cars and be a second set of eyes to see things he might have missed. Gary Cook, if you have a lot of financials in your, good grief, I can't read. And that's funny. At the neurologist, they had me read all these tricky sentences, and I read them perfectly there. And I get on YouTube and I can't read nothing. He said, if you have a lot of stress in your life, that could cause a stroke. Worried about financials. I think it was definitely stress related, but I don't think it was financials. I was doing okay working for SRO, but my truck was starting to have a few little issues, and I'd already had the trauma of the Kenworth and what happened at the Peterbilt dealership. So I was just really scared of a breakdown. And so somebody asked earlier in the chat if it was from the accident from the previous March. And I don't think it was from that, but I think it was from a few months earlier, the trauma and stress of that Kenworth. But for years now, people been telling me I'm going too hard. I need to take it easy. I need to rest. I need to make time for myself. And these strokes kind of slowed me down a little bit, both mentally and physically. And I'm just trying to get back to my old self because trust me when I'm telling you this, the stuff that's going on right now is going to require every bit of me, all 100% of me. I'm only 52, but your stroke has helped me change my lifestyle. Well, thank you, Gary. Again, that's kind of like Mark's comment. That really means a lot to me because that's all I'm trying to do is help you guys. And if my speech to you is learn from the donkey, don't do what I do, then great. I hope none of you ever have to go through a stroke, even if it's minor ones like I went through. Red Raider Reloading, my good friend, says, hello, Todd. I'm sorry I'm late. I've been working in the garden. Man, it's too hot to be working in the garden. Even, I'm sure you can see in the camera, I'm sweating right now, and I'm in the house under an air conditioner. We've had some crazy heat in Lubbock lately. So Red Raider Reloading says, I have to have my caffeine. Does Coke Zero delete all the caffeine or just the sugar? just the sugar. Now they do make a Coke Zero that's caffeine free, but I don't do that. I get the one with caffeine. And that was another thing about going to the neurologist. I was on a blood thinner, and he said I didn't need to be on that no more. I'm doing well enough that I just take what they call a baby aspirin, an 81 milligram aspirin every morning. And he said as long as I do that, I'll be fine. Gary Cook says he believes that Donald Trump will win in November. Yeah, but the thing you worry about there, and that's the conventional wisdom, most polls show him ahead right now. But what you worry about is people get complacent and stay home. They go, Trump's going to win. I don't need to vote. Uh, we all need to. We all need to vote like Trump is 10 points behind in the poll, because if we don't, we're going to end up losing. If we all stay home because we're like, we're sure Trump's got this, we're sure Trump's going to win, then he'll lose. We need to all go out and vote and do our part. And same thing goes for Biden. Elections are close enough now that it all comes down to turnout. And while several of you may vote for Biden, and I'm sure Biden would vote for himself if he could remember who he was, but it's just, we can't get overconfident. But I agree. I think he's going to win as long as we all do our part. Red Raider Reloading, have you noticed the older we get, the balls we play get smaller? Football when we were young, then to tennis, then to golf. Yeah, no kidding. I never thought of it that way. This week alone, I had a coworker and a soon-to-be family member that both expressed an interest in playing golf with me. And let's talk about my golf experience for a little bit. I had a guy I hung out with in high school that played golf, and a couple of times he let me tee off. That's it. That's my entire golf experience. I had some clubs once, but I never used them. I'm left-handed, so I would need left-handed clubs. And so it looks like I'm going to at some point have to get clubs and take some golf lessons and go down that road. And again, that's that healthy lifestyle thing. You're going to do a lot more walking and activity, so hopefully that'll result in more weight loss as well. Michael says, nope, all you have to be is a really good liar to be a politician. Maybe. I know a lot of them do. I was disappointed when we went to that car lot, and I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to get a cease and desist or be in court. But that car lot we went to in Dallas, I was real disappointed because, you always hear that car salesmen are crooked and dishonest, and these guys really were. But I honestly tried to be truthful and honest with all my customers. I mean, I had customers that buy me Christmas presents that they'd see me in Walmart and run up and hug me and thank me, because if there's a problem with the car, I'd tell them. If there's any way I could fix the car for them, I'd tell them. I felt like I needed to be honest with everybody, and that was definitely not how I would describe that place in Dallas. Channel member Ramon, glad to see you doing good. You have a good night. Happy 4th to you all in here, and be safe. Be driving at 4 a.m. All right, man, be careful out there. And you never know, when I get to the church that night, I may set up and film some of the fireworks we'll see. A lot of it depends on if I can get a good location where I can see a lot. The church themselves is in the city limits, so they can't pop any, but they're on the outskirts of the city limits, and we're going to try to set up in the parking lot and play some games and watch. And so if I can do it and still be part of the festivities, then I'll definitely do that and show y'all. Let's see here. Red Raider Reloading, 3 hours with baby back ribs at 240. Then take off the grill, put 3 tabs of butter in the full, place rubs meat side down into the butter, cook for another 2 hours, then pull off the bone ribs. That sounds really good, Red Raider. I couldn't even read that without getting hungry. We went to Cotton Patch and had lunch after church today. and I had catfish and shrimp, and I've got a little bit of leftovers of that in the refrigerator. That's what I'm going to eat tonight. Wife had a gift card that we needed to burn, so we burned it after church. Robbie Ross, channel member. I don't want to get political. The White House has put so much misinformation about Biden and his cognitive skills, saying he is sharp, etc., plus them blocking the audio of his deposition. Yeah, I think that's what's gone on. Let's say the last 15, 20 years has turned all of us off to politics and made all of us skeptical. And regardless of which side of the aisle or the political spectrum you find yourself on, I think we could point to both sides and say there's been times when things got a little dirty, and it's hard to have faith in either side completely right now. And my good friend Skyline is here. I've been wanting to talk to Skyline too. I got to get a hold of him. I want to hear how his truck's doing and how he's doing. But anyway, he says, hello, I'm late, but happy to see you doing well. Thank you, sir. We went through quite a bit. We've been on a little over an hour so far. Go back and check out the first part of the video. I did something in this video I've never done before, and that's come on before I even did the intro, with just a little quick message, and then we jumped into the intro and started the show. But definitely, if you get a chance, go back and check out the first, say, 15 minutes of the show. Gary Cook, was you a coffee drinker? No, never drank coffee unless it was super cold weather. I'm saying maybe 2 or 3 cups a year because it would make me sweat. So I didn't drink a lot of coffee. I was guilty of drinking some energy drinks, and that's probably not great for you either. But I believe it was just stress related. I really do. And that's why I'm trying so hard to just stay calm and not let things get under my skin. Do you golf course near Lubbock? I've never gone to one of the golf courses in Lubbock. We've got several here. And I grew up in a small town with about 3,000 people. We even had a golf course there. And like I said, I went with my friend that he played golf in high school, and I took a couple of tee offs, but I wouldn't say that I know what I'm doing to any degree of excellence or anything. I definitely would need to get some left-handed clubs and probably take some golf classes. Red Raider Reloading says Cotton Patch does sound good. It is. It was wonderful. We had a great waiter. My wife got chicken and dumplings, and I got that catfish and shrimp. But man, one of these days, Red Raider, we gotta tell you when we're going somewhere and invite you to go with us. It'd be fun to see you again, see how things are going with you. All right, we've been going an hour and 8 minutes. We're caught up on the comments, so we're going to do what we always do when we get caught up on the comments, give you guys a few seconds to type, and then if nothing comes out, we'll check out of here. But this is the part of the show where I remind everybody to go check out the website, truckertodd.net. You can email me pictures, news, things like that, questions at todd@truckertodd.net. If you're curious about SRO Logistics, that's safety at srologistics.com. And give this video a thumbs up, share it on your social media platforms, and make sure you're subscribed. All of those things really, really help me out. We've had a lot of generous people. Well, we've had several generous people, maybe I should say that have come in with super chats, super stickers, things like that tonight. We definitely want to thank them for that and for the 6 channel members that we still have. Yeah, so a couple of people have typed comments. Continue to get your comments in. I'll be happy to talk to y'all just a little bit longer, and then I'll hop off here and we'll get ready for Monday. Let's see. Gary Cook says, I used to be a heavy Monster drinker, but I got away from them. Yeah, I used to be a Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull drinker. And then I went to Bang energy drinks. They have a cotton candy flavor that was pretty good. And I think since my stroke, I've had 2 of them. So I've really, really cut back, but I'm drinking a lot more milk than I used to. And I'm drinking a lot more water than I used to. I got one of these circle things from Walmart, and I've been drinking water like crazy. Right now, I am drinking a Big Red, though. They tease me at work because when I drink that water, they say that it makes the sound like a bong, and so they love to tease me at work. But I've got a lot of friends at work. I'm pretty popular up there. Usually at the end of the night when I'm walking out to my truck, several people stop me. They want to know about my day. In the morning when I'm going into work, several people usually stop me. A lot of people work there, and they'll want to talk to me and see how I'm doing and tell me about their situations. And so I am liking the social aspect of it, but I miss hanging out with y'all too. And life's all about balance, and I'm just trying to find that balance. Skyline says, definitely, Todd. I always watch the replay. You always inspired me. You are a very smart man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I uh, I appreciate the kind words and everything you guys are saying and doing right now. Channel member Robbie Ross. I do play golf. I'm the kind of guy who likes to get his money's worth. I was never explained the rules unless you hit. I was never explained the rules unless you hit is a winner. Ha, yeah, yeah, and try to stay out of the water and out of the sand. But I know the rules because I've played like golf video games and stuff, but it's such a perfectionist sport, and I mean they take slow motion pictures and everything trying to figure out how to improve. And a lot of malls will have golf simulators, and maybe that's what I need to do is go in there and tee off on a golf simulator. I've played putt putt, so I'm sure I could putt, and I realize that sounds stupid to some of you, but I mean putting is putting, I think. Gary Cook, where you work, are there any ex-truck drivers working at your workplace? So I met one that he drove for like 7 years, and he doesn't do it anymore. But he drove like a belly dump or something. It wasn't like really over the road. And there's hundreds of people in that building, so I just know a fraction of the people there. But I've made a few good friends up there, and they all know I'm on YouTube, and a few of them may pop in here from time to time. They were asked by the company not to say where I work, though. The company wants it to remain private. And I've talked to some people that work at companies that they forbid you to be on YouTube. My company has not forbidden me to be on YouTube. They've just asked me to not, uh, throw them under the bus or talk about them on air. So I don't say where I work or things like that. Red Raider Reloading says just go to 4 Golf on Marcia Sharp Freeway. I'll have to go check that out. Is it, well, I may call you and get the details on it, but I may have to run by there and check it out. I think, I don't think it's a real good idea for me to be out in the heat for long periods of time right now because I'm still recovering. And I definitely don't have the financials right now to be buying golf equipment and paying golf course fees and things like that, renting a golf cart and all of that. But definitely down the road, that's something I'm going to look into. Even if I do go back over the road, I could do it on my off time. I got to make some subtle changes that will have long-term effects on my life. And so, yeah, that's what I would say about all that. I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes. I felt bad last time because I got off real quick, and then several people started putting comments after I left. But yeah, let's see what this next one says. So Red Raider says it's covered, etc., like a driving range slash simulated goal. Since I don't have clubs, do they have clubs I could rent or use to practice? Because both of these guys, they're going to want me to be fairly competent when I get on the golf course. And I want to be fairly confident. I'm a competitive person, and I want to show up. I don't want to just be out there chasing golf balls all day. All righty, we're caught up again, almost. Keep them coming. T. Moraes says, I wish you well, my friend. Tomorrow I'll be calling from. All right, yeah, give me a call. Gary Cook says, I used to enjoy going bowling, haven't bowled in several years. Yeah, the last time I went bowling was with my youngest son and wife, and it was a very long time ago, 5 or 6 years ago, and maybe longer. And I wasn't great, but I always enjoyed bowling. Bowling is fun, and that may be something that I could enjoy too. And it's an indoor activity to keep me physical until things kind of cool off a little bit. This is kind of reassuring. This live has gone an hour and 16 minutes. The last couple I did was like 37 and 45 minutes or something. So it's nice that y'all came in and stuck with me. I know everybody was curious about the stroke, and I'm glad I could get y'all some updates. I'm going to pull that comment off so y'all can see the website. If you've got anything else, throw it up there. If you don't, we'll probably be getting out of here pretty soon. I still got some phone calls and stuff to make tonight. All righty, everything's died down. I guess I'll go ahead and call it a night. Thank y'all for being here. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed. I may do something on the 4th of July. Probably won't do anything before then just because of work. If you need something, call, text, or email me, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank y'all for all your support. Over the years now, we've been doing this for a few years, and I thank every one of you and appreciate your prayers and support. Y'all have a great night, and we'll catch you on the next one. Wait a second, we got another comment. Robbie Ross, channel member, Joey Logano just won the race. Wow, I don't follow racing a lot. I know my uncle wishes I did, but I know who Joey Logano is, and so congratulations to Joey Logano. And I'm gonna stop. Before my speech starts getting bad, I'm gonna step off here. Y'all have a great night, and thank y'all for watching and for being the good friends that you are. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.